guys know, I'll give you a finger.
Hello, world.
Hello.
I believe that we are live.
So my name's Gracie Lawrence.
My name is Clyde Lawrence. We're here at YouTube headquarters in San Bruno, California, and we are part of the band Lawrence. This is our debut into the YouTube live game, which we're very excited about. We've had a really fun couple days here at YouTube messing around with some stuff. And oh wow, look at this. We already have some people that are hyped. And we also asked people for questions on our other social media stuff leading into it. So we've got a bunch of stuff. But in the chat, feel free to just be like asking us questions. We've got a guitar here. If you have requests, we can try to run through some stuff. What do you have to say to the people?
I mean, we're just here for your entertainment, so like...
We are your monkeys. Make
hit
us
us
dance.
up. Tell us what you want us to do.
I'll start with some cool questions that we got on socials leading up to this, but we'll prioritize any questions that come in on the YouTube chat here. For example, Up the Tree 42 just asked, how did y'all discover this band? That's not really a question for us.
I discovered it by being in it. How did you discover it?
Like, I was playing music in the living room, and you were like,
so funny.
This sounds great. Like, let's do this. That was pretty much how we
He
discovered
looks chicken boy. Honestly, spot on.
Play every song on the new album. We'll play some songs on the new album. Oh, sweet. Someone who saw us at Kaboo. Do we play on the West Coast often? We do play on the West Coast often. The next time that we're playing on the West Coast is January 18th at the Troubadour in Los Angeles. And then once our new album comes out, we'll play all over the West Coast. Are we coming to Boston anytime soon? Same thing. For anyone who wants to know about when we're coming back to anywhere, unless you're asking about LA, the answer is January. Everywhere else, it's once our album comes out. And that would basically be in the spring.
We announced the exact date of the January LA show, right?
Yeah, the LA show's January 18th. Will the new album be Halloween themed?
Hi, Willem.
That's funny.
No, because it's not going to come out on Halloween.
The show was Halloween.
Halloween.
I can see how that's confusing.
Right.
Ultimately, the songs are not so much Halloween themed. Let's see. All right, so we were asked, do you consider Motown one of your influences? And if so, who are your favorite Motown singers? Ooh. The answer is definitely yes. We consider Motown to be one of our biggest influences. Smokey Robinson, Jackson 5, and the unsung heroes of Motown being the actual players on the records. If you're a Motown fan, I would encourage you to watch the documentary Standing in the Shadows of Motown, which is all about the Funk Brothers, which is the group of musicians that are actually playing on like so many of the Motown songs, no matter which band it was. Famously James Jamerson on bass, but there's a bazillion other guys who really are like the reason why those songs sound the way that they do. And we love that sound. We've spent so much time picking it apart and figuring out what about it is so special and everything like that.
I also feel like the songwriting style itself, like the structure and you know, like how to write a succinct pop song is like something we are super inspired by.
There's like
while not taking away from how good the song is. Like, it can be succinct without being cheesy or bad.
Sumner says your new phone looks fresh.
Thank you, Sumner. Sumner's in our band. My phone got stolen, and yeah, I'm bouncing back.
One more thing on the Motown front, what she was saying, there's a famous story that Berry Gordy, who was the head of Motown overall, had like a rule that if you were one of the writers on staff at Motown and you wanted to come in and present him with a song that you wanted Smokey Robinson or, you know, anybody else to sing, Four Tops or whatever, you had to have him hooked within 5 seconds. It was called like the 5-second rule or something like that. And it was like
that was the OG 5 seconds.
Yeah. Don't eat food off the ground, and the song better be catchy within 5 seconds. But actually though, and like I think that there's that's a very debatable rule. I think that a lot of people might disagree with that. A lot of people think that's really restricting, that like a song should grab you within 5 seconds. I want music to be the kind of thing that like is complex enough that you can't appreciate it after 5 seconds. But I think that there's a really cool balance to strike where ideally a piece of music should have you totally hooked within 5 seconds, but at the same time, every time you listen to it, there's still more to sink your teeth into. And I think that Motown is kind of like that.
Cherry Cicely said, any tips for performing? That's an interesting one. I feel like of the two of us, was the person who like was more into performing at first, and then I think Clyde became like a super comfortable performer as well. I think you are.
I do my best.
I think, I mean, I still get really nervous before every show, but I think it's just like anything else, practice. Like, the more you get up and do it, the more, like, even if you are super, super nervous, like, the more you can, like, harness that nervousness and make it into something good. I mean, I jump around on stage every night, and some people are like, stop jumping, but it's really just so I can, like, be comfortable.
It's all about energy. It's all about energy and like authenticity. I think like so much of it is just about like really genuinely being like yourself. I know that that's like such a cliched, overused phrase, but I think that like the second that I stop trying to be
cool,
the moment that I embrace the fact that like I think people will enjoy feeling like they're getting to know me while they're watching me on stage is the moment when I felt like I became a way more comfortable performer. And I think that that's something that a lot of people who aren't as natural as Gracie need to hear. Like, Gracie's just such a natural performer. For anybody who's more like me, where it's like you love music, you're passionate about making music, and you like to play music, but you don't think of yourself as like a performer, I think it's just like try to kind of, be yourself, even though that is so cliched. There was a great question I saw, which was, do you play saxophone? I do not play saxophone. Neither does Gracie, but we do have two great saxophone players in our band.
And a great trumpet player.
Can we keep the chat stuff up just like permanently instead of having it jump on and off like that?
Oh. I saw a question about why didn't we cover an OAR song, but I think that's just related to the fact that why haven't we gotten a Crazy Game of Poker soul cover yet?
That's interesting. Perhaps we will. We just had a great tour with OAR, and it was a ton of fun.
Also, I want you as my wedding band. Is that kosher? I'll pay for all your breakfast. That sounds great.
Yeah.
We always take a breakfast offer.
Especially if it's kosher. That sounds good though. I'm trying to remember. Thank you for all the questions. I'm trying to remember what. Can I actually scroll through the questions as we're getting them?
Thank you.
Cool. You guys are asking so many great questions that I don't even have time to read all of them. Somebody said, "What song do you find?" Oh, Megan said, "What song do you find crowds react the best to when they don't know you?" I think that "Oh No," the moment when Gracie sings really high.
Right.
I know that's like kind of like a very particular moment, but that moment always seems to really grab people. There's a couple moments in where it started from.
I think Shot is where I feel like the audience kind of gets on board from an energy perspective.
But I really do think every audience is different, and like we put a ton of effort into like, kind of giving a little bit of a peek out into the audience as the show's going, / like thinking about what we think the audience might be like over the course of the day, and really tailoring what our set's going to be to them, because to some people something like Shot might be what gets them, to others something like So Damn Fast. It actually, like, we're proud enough of all of our songs that we think just depending on the audience, every song has a chance to be that moment that the crowd reacts to. We've got, where did you guys form your band? At college, work, etc.?
We're siblings, so we started
around the house. One of the guys in our band is like one of our best childhood friends. One of the guys in the band is one of our best friends from like middle school, and everybody else we met at college. And we really got our start at Brown University, where we all went, where almost all of us went, and just playing parties there and stuff like that. Let's see what else.
There are a lot of questions that we missed.
We missed so many.
These are great questions. They're actually very different than the questions that we ever
Wow,
get.
these are all great. Let's just rifle through these more
Cool.
quickly. Do you guys like chicken?
Yes.
Thoughts on covering Lake Street Dive since touring with them? That's an awesome idea.
Cool idea. They have great songs.
How do you guys all run your rehearsals? Is there a set order to things? That's a great question. I think that like the art of running a good rehearsal / in general just like being a good band leader is like one of the most important things that like me and Gracie take really really seriously as a job, because it is like, you know, we may be the performers in the front on stage and the lead singers, but like also running a business is a huge part of what we do with the guys in the band. Like, you know, everyone having their different roles and running rehearsals, those are all super important. And I think that, you know, it just depends on what we're trying to get done.
Sometimes we'll have a specific rehearsal where it's like, oh, we have this show coming up, so we need to, you know, get X songs in shape for that show. Other times, we don't actually do this as much, where it's kind of just like, let's just get together and jam, because we don't have as much time, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're not really one for like the aimless jam, and we don't do group writing. We don't get together and like jam in hopes that we're going to write a song. It's all very directed. We come in with a set of songs that we are trying, we write, that we are trying to accomplish, and then we work with the band to get the songs where they need to be.
And everyone gives input and is super helpful in the process. Let's keep looking.
This one person's asking about all the. We do love spaghetti as well. Let's see. What's the plan for the future? A bunch more tours, focusing more on new albums and songs.
So,
all of the above.
Yeah, I mean, we will be touring again right after. We'll be doing like heavy touring again right after the album comes out next year. But right now we're like in kind of intense album making mode, where we're like, I'd say in the thick of it.
Someone said, okay, these are funny. Someone said, do you know the band Melt?
Yeah,
we actually
we do.
We went to high school with a bunch of them.
We only went to high school with one of them. Two of them. Yeah.
It's been really cool that like they have a similar sound to us, and a lot of people have been coming up to us at shows being like, there's this new band that we think you guys should be aware of, that like we think you guys would like, and we're like, yeah, we already know them. So that's been totally cool. Yeah, Tama says, Gracie, did you go to high school with the
I
girl?
did,
No,
Veronica.
We both did. She's super talented.
I was in an a cappella group with Veronica and Eric, who are in that band. And
Alexa says, Gracie, I want your sweater.
You can't have it. But hi, Alexa.
Tips on self-promotion / getting gigs. That's a great question. That's like the eternal question.
Right.
I think like make sure that your music's great. I know that sounds like really ridiculous, but like make sure that like you feel like you're in touch with what about your sound people are gonna connect with, and then just get like the smallest gig. Like,
yeah, it's the classic story of like,
at least for us, there were no shortcuts involved. It was like we just played at literally the smallest club we could possibly find, but we filled it up and people liked it, and then we played at a little bit bigger of a club the next time, and those people all brought their friends. Really is just that domino effect that for us we feel happened because people like the music.
And I think people think like because we're really young that maybe like we like skipped a bunch of steps, but I think we just started. I think I was like 14 or 15 when we started just like doing these small clubs around New York, like little cafes where I would like, you know, invite all my high school friends, and Clyde would invite, and Clyde would invite like his friends, and we'd try to like pack like a 20-person venue that was like barely a venue, and but it's great. And then it's like those people go from being, the people in the audience go from being like your best friends to like your distant friends to like your acquaintances to your friends of friends to your people you don't even know. But
then these new fans that you don't know become your new friends. Like
true.
It's funny how that works.
And now we don't have
we're getting some great questions. Alexa T, does YouTube headquarters have good snacks?
Oh,
we have been very
God.
well fed. The amenities are very on point. I will say that. with
It's
confidence.
pretty crazy.
Do you guys have any plans to work with Ripe in the future? Saw you both in Northampton last year and was blown away. We love Ripe. I look forward to the next time we do something with them. I don't think we have anything specific in the works, but as you've probably seen, even since our tour with them, some of their guys pop up at our shows, and I've popped up at their shows, and we definitely love working with them, and I'm sure that you've not seen the last of our collabs. Have you guys ever been to Korea? No, and that would be awesome. Hopefully, tell all your friends, and maybe we'll see you there. Same with Nuno, who asked about Brazil. Nuno also asked a great question. It seems like you guys also work on the production of the album. What is your biggest production influence in the sense of which record in history artist would you emulate the tone of? That's a great question.
I feel like we should be looking at the camera because it looks weird on here.
Does it?
Yeah. Sorry, just late in the game.
Well, I think that tone-wise, we try to emulate a lot of different things. Someone mentioned Motown earlier. We love Motown. We've talked a lot about soul influences. There's also modern pop influences, R&B influences like D'Angelo. More recently, hip-hop influences like Chance the Rapper. Most recently, we've been like totally obsessed with Bernhoft. If you don't know him, check him out. PJ Morton, if you don't know him, check him out. Those are some of the people that we've been like really digging recently. Did I miss anyone?
This was answered to this question?
Well, it was an answer to both that question and somebody asked about who our favorite artists are in general.
I think you got it. I'm really into like Kimbra these days, waiting for that. Did she drop that new album? I don't think yet. But
I think so.
Did it? I don't know. And I also really like St. Vincent's new album. That's an album.
Who is that other guitar player you guys play with sometimes? That guy is the bee's knees. He is the bee's knees. His name is Peter Enriquez. He is an absolutely amazing guitarist.
Also, Johnny Coe is our guitarist in our band all the time.
Yeah, so we usually tour with just an 8-person band with a fantastic, just 8 of us, fantastic guitarist named Johnny Coe, who if you've seen us anywhere around the country, he's probably the guy that you saw playing with us. When we're in New York, we're lucky enough to have both Johnny and our friend Peter, who used to be a full-time member of the band, come kind of rejoin the band, and he plays guitar alongside Johnny, also plays some other stuff, and yeah, he's totally great. Should we play some music?
We missed
a
few questions.
He said, I know Bernhoft.
There was a question about if it's ever tough to be a family band. I don't think so. It hasn't been that tough. If anything, it's been really nice because we already live together and we grew up with very similar influences, but as we've gotten older, we also like have kind of diverged and found music on our own, and like we're pretty tight. We don't fight a lot.
If the next album is called Lunch, probably not. Sorry to burst that bubble.
Because then it's like dinner and dessert.
And that's it.
Then like our careers.
I don't know how many meals a day you all are eating, but
I eat more
we
than
hope
that.
to make more than 3 albums. Right, that's true. I guess we actually do eat enough.
Yeah.
We eat enough meals that we could have
Second
like a
dinner.
Hall of Fame career with that number of albums. Should we play something?
Yeah, totally.
All right, we're gonna play a little music.
Do people have requests?
Will Linus tour with you?
Linus is our little brother. That was a question.
We would, he's too cool for us, I think is the answer. Not for lack of trying. People always ask us, like, is Linus going to join the band? And we're always like, he can do whatever he wants. He's like, we'll be joining his band one day, I think. He for any of you that were at our show this weekend at Bowery Ballroom, he stole the show. We all dressed up as the characters from Clue.
This was for Saturday night.
For Saturday night. And he dressed up as the ghost of the person who one of us had mysteriously killed. And he totally crushed it. Why didn't you guys play Alibi on Saturday? We were sad. We were sad too. It was originally in the set list. As a matter of fact, we had to cut it because Eric Krasno, an amazing guitarist from Soul Live and Lettuce who produced our album, showed up at the last minute and we wanted to feature him on something, so we replaced it with Get Back, which he totally crushed.
It was very worth it.
It was worth it, I think. And we'll
It was
play
definitely
Alibi
worth
at the next one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was unquestionably. All right.
Okay.
Let's play a song. We've got a couple of requests.
Rocking that cough right now.
Can we do Pick a Movie again?
Sure. We could start with maybe with something else, but we could do it that.
Let's do it.
Okay. So we have a new album coming out. Not super soon, but like soon enough. And one of the songs that's going to be on the album is called Make a Move. And it's about like rules that I feel are imposed upon girls or anyone who identifies as a girl, and how like you're not supposed to make a move, whatever that means to you. Oh, hello there, would it be okay if I asked you your name? Or should I be ashamed if I asked you your name? 'Cause I heard it's ugly to be forward, cute to be lame. That's the rules of the game. But I don't wanna be lame. Thinking about you, thinking about you, but am I allowed to? Maybe this is news to you, but I've been told not to make a move. I'm done hesitating, sick of waiting for you to make a move. Ooh, make a move. Ooh, make a move. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Would it be unladylike in me to message you first?
Ooh,
Would our romance be cursed
ooh.
if I message you first?
Does it come off pushy and aggressive to write you this verse? Ooh,
Do you think I'm the worst? Do you think I'm? Because I wrote you this verse. Well, now I'm thinking about you, thinking about you, but am I allowed to? Maybe this is news to you, but I've been told not to make a move. I'm done hesitating, sick of waiting for you to make a move. Ooh, make a move. Ooh, make a move. Ooh, yeah.
oh, did it? Oh!
Thinking about you, thinking about you, thinking about you, I'm thinking about you, I'm thinking about you, but am I allowed to? Oh, maybe this is news to you, but I've been told not to make a move. I'm done hesitating, sick of waiting for you
one random question and then call it. There's some pretty funny ones in here. Ugh, want this new album, Stat. Thank you. The album will be out, Stat. That's one of many songs on it. And it'll be out in the spring-ish. But in the meantime, please, spread the word to everyone across the country, across the world, on social media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel because we're going to be doing this more often. So you'll get like a notification, I think, if you hit the bell when we go live on YouTube. And, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff, because before our album comes out, between now and then, I think that's the best way to hear all this stuff.
Yeah, we're going to release a lot of videos. Wow. Yeah, that's like a deep cut. People always ask for this song, Oranges, that Clyde played. Why not? Yeah.
All right, yeah, this has been a very requested one, and we didn't do it at our shows over the weekend, and everyone always requested. So we're just going to do it. We're going to play Oranges, which everybody always asks us
Should we
about.
play anything that's like more recognizably ours?
That's fine with me.
Let's do Oranges first. Thank you.
Someone just asked if the last song will be on the album. The last song is a song that we just played at Bowery Ballroom. It will be. Someone asked if Get Busy will be on the album. It won't be because we're only doing originals on the album. But there will be a very official and legit release of our version of Get Busy very soon. So stay tuned on YouTube specifically.
There's so many good questions. Let's just play the song now.
I haven't played this song in ages. I don't even know if I exactly know how. This is like one of the oldest songs I've written in a while. It's funny how nobody sings about oranges. The reason's no rhyme. I'm starting to mind how we take our ideas and put them in storage, but pull back the rind. Who knows what you'd find? You take the same risk as if you're afraid. If life gave you an orange, would you make lemonade? It's funny how nobody sings about oranges when you got one in the palm of your hand. And it's crazy how nobody sings about chocolate. It seems there would be nothing so sweet like we're living in the box and someone has locked it. How can that be? It just ain't for me. We're curbing our emotions and hedging our bets. If you don't open the chocolate, who knows what you get? It's crazy how nobody sings about chocolate when you got it in the palm of your hand. So, we run in circles, anxious not to stray. Now purple's got us blue and silver's going gray. Hey, hey. Is there nothing else to say? 'Cause it's funny how nobody sings about oranges. Oh, it's funny how nobody sings about oranges. Oh, imagine a world where we don't play this game. It would be apples and oranges, nothing the same. Oh, it's funny how nobody sings about oranges when you got one in the palm of your hand. Yeah, it's funny how nobody sings about oranges when you got one in the palm of your hand. There you go. Deep cut. Should we end it out with me and you?
Sure.
Alright, last
How
song.
do you travel in a van?
A luxury van. No. A normal van.
Oh, yeah.
from Lawrence. Thanks for doing this. New album out in the spring. Until then, follow all the socials. Subscribe to YouTube. We'll be coming at you with a bunch of new stuff. Peace out.
YouTube.